Now, I'm going to talk about many heretical things today. And what I'm really bringing here is my experience as a journalist who has largely covered energy and its consumption and its consequences for more than 30 years. And so let me just quickly summarize what the key things I want to get across, and that I hope you can start a conversation about. Climate change is a symptom of a much greater crisis, and that's unchecked economic growth of all kinds. Technology, which is a means for putting energy to work, will not save us this go around. It will only foster greater disorder and fragmentation. It is also poisoning our brains and locking us into modes of highly destructive thinking. We are now inmates or servants to the technosphere, to technological society. Technological society is a cancerous growth on the living planet. So as we like to put it so prosaically, there's society, civilization, the technocracy, and then everything else becomes this god-awful word, the environment. And of course, we hear every day about the need for balance between the technosphere and the environment, because if we don't have the right balance, then we won't have jobs. We also might not have a place to live either. Now, as inmates of the technosphere, we know more and more about the world while being less and less able to do anything about it. Population plus affluence plus technology are the root of the problem. Too many people burning too much energy to consume stuff on a finite planet. My God, this message has been out there for 40, 50, 60 years. And what has changed is that the energy that made it all possible is no longer easy or cheap to extract. Our elites promise every day that a host of new green technologies, most of them unproven, most of them vastly uneconomic, most of them which will never scale up, will solve all of our problems. But these so-called solutions are really examples of spiraling complexity that provides no tangible benefit for much of the population. Civilization, a Moloch that demands human sacrifices, has gotten too big, too complex, too costly, and too hard to manage. Our political class is in a complete state of denial about all of these, existential threats. It will not act till things get worse. You can expect more blah, blah, blah. Energy spending determines greenhouse gas emissions. We only want to talk about emissions. We need to talk about energy spending. Therefore, the only concrete way to bring emissions down is to systematically shrink energy spending and contract the global economy by at least 40%. The globe's political class again refuses to discuss this course of action, so we can choose, if we're even allowed the conversation, a managed energy descent, something few civilizations have ever achieved, or we can face collapse. Sooner or later, policymakers have to acknowledge the fact that addressing environmental breakdown will require a direct downscaling of economic production and consumption in the wealthiest countries on this planet. In sum, expect extreme volatility and political unrest in the years ahead, along with atmospheric rivers, heat domes, and burning forests. So you ask, why should I share this blunt and cheery message without a glass of vodka in hand? I think C.S. Lewis put it best. He said, if you look for truth, you may find comfort in the end. If you look for comfort, you will not get either comfort or truth, only soft soap and wishful thinking to begin with, and in the end, despair. James Baldwin was even more blunt when he was talking about race in the 1960s. He said, people who do not face the truth turn themselves into monsters. All right.